So at the
What?
at the farewell party,
What did he do at his farewell party? He's
killed everyone.
He's had one last go
Killed
at
all the
it.
bastards.
You're going to send me away? I'll fuck
he
you
might as
up.
well have done.
I warned you.
Now at this point,
I've done it again. Hello, and welcome to the Killer Rabbit Podcast. You liked it? Oh, it was terrible, wasn't it? Oh well.
liked it. What was
Oh,
wrong
you
with
did
it?
like it. Okay, fair enough. I don't know.
Have some faith in your own abilities, man.
if you start doubting yourself now,
I got a quarter of the way into it. Started doubting myself. I should have just gone
Too
for
much
it.
doubt.
Too much doubt. Too much monster. Or not enough monster.
Not enough.
This is Killer Rabbit Podcast. It's the podcast where we sift through the beds of the digital river to pan for the gold nuggets of wonderful stories.
Oh, Sam, you old prospector, you.
That's it. That's what I'm going for. I'm a prospector. I'm panning for gold nuggets in the shape of funny stories from the internet. That's what we're
Excellent.
doing. That's what you guys are doing anyway. I don't do that. I'm Sam. I'm joined by Mr. Adam Chase.
Hello.
And I'm joined by Benson.
hi, you've missed a crucial part.
I'm waiting for you. I'm going to hand it over to you. You can do it.
Okay.
And you can go on, do it. What is
have
this?
to- you have
What are
to-
we listening
Killer
to?
have
Rabbit
to tee him up,
Podcast
mate.
is Yorkshire's #1 alternative news comedy podcast.
According to. No,
According to
I did it to you. I did it
According
to you.
to-
According to. According to. Who's it according to? Come on. I make these things up every week.
Henrietta,
Henrietta who?
the tortoise from Next Door But One.
Oh, really? That's a nice name for a tortoise, isn't it?
Henrietta the tortoise. It's a bit wordy. It's a bit mouthy.
It is when you say the full name.
Yeah.
Too many
if you
syllables.
got Henna's the totters.
Hento.
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 Fucking hell. You're getting a bit close there.
A little
Yes.
bit. Little bit.
So that's
How do you know? How do you
Hento
know?
the Totters. How do you know
Because
Hento?
It slowly but surely made its way over to Next Door But One 18 months later from
Yeah.
when it set off on its long adventure. It whispered into the winds of time.
Why didn't it just do that from its house then? If it was whispering into the winds, why didn't it just do it from?
the
Why
winds-
did it need to come round and
The
spend
winds of
18
time, a whisper only carries a certain amount of distance.
Oh, only one house length.
And a tortoise whisper is quite
No, half a house length. You can't get a full house
Yeah.
length.
So that is what's happened. And that is who it's according to.
Right, fantastic.
I've never questioned yours.
I think you have.
No comment.
Yeah.
No one can remember.
Yeah, we can't remember what we did fucking 5 minutes ago.
No.
So yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This is the podcast where we do go find all the silly, strange and surreal stories from around the world to bring them to your ear holes so you don't have to bother looking for them yourself, you lazy bastard. But that's why you're here and we love you for it very, very much. So, gentlemen, how have your weeks been? Great, fantastic. So, I understand that you've got some stories for us. Let's get straight into it because we've got a lot of recording to do tonight.
I think you've skipped a lot of things. It's a very exciting week
Is it?
for English people.
Why? Go
on.
For Britons.
For Britons.
Well, not only is today Star Wars Day, which is very confusing because...
Just beware of when this goes out.
yeah,
but-
exactly, because
yeah.
if you let me fucking finish. However, Saturday...
We'll release this on May the 4th, 2024.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We'll have to wait now.
So happy belated Star Wars Day to listeners.
Thank you.
Nerds. And
Shut up. You are a
I
fucking
fucking love Star
nerd.
Wars. I am a nerd. I own that shit.
Yeah, and you just fucking call everyone else nerds.
I like
Nerd.
people being part of my nerd crew. Anyway, the more important thing,
Yes.
What?
on Saturday, huge event in England.
Go on.
Huge.
What's happening?
King's getting crowned.
What?
That's not.
Who's getting what?
The king,
Who's that?
the son of the beanie-wearing queenie.
Well, I didn't vote for him.
I didn't vote for him either. How did he become king?
How did he become king?
He was handed a sword from a moistened bint. But it's huge.
No way to speak
Where-
about the
where-
Queen, is it?
Huge.
Well,
I mean, she was moistened after a few fucking weeks in ground, mate.
R.I.P. Queenie.
So
yeah, okay. So what do we really need to talk
it's the only
about?
time we're going to get to talk about it for at
Why
least
do
a
we
year.
want to talk about it?
We've talked about it, so let's move on.
Let's move on. We don't give a fuck.
But
You care, don't you? I can see it in your eyes.
You missed my whole.
Benson the
I was
Royalist.
lining up to a huge joke.
Oh,
You
okay.
missed it.
Come on
Okay,
then.
well,
Where's your
we
huge
won't get
joke?
another chance to talk about a coronation for at least a year.
No, because he's
And the-
old and he's going to die.
Was that the joke?
Is that the joke?
Did you just take your joke out your mouth?
The king's old and he's
I
going to
just
die.
think it's a huge waste of money.
It's an absolute huge waste of money.
I think sometimes we can talk about serious topics on this.
it's all a
on this
huge
topic.
waste of money. It's all a huge waste of
Yeah.
money.
Absolutely,
Better
yeah.
things.
I
to
bought some
spend it on.
cans of Monster earlier, and at least 20% of the price of that went towards the coronation.
What you want to know when you're in the middle of a cost of living crisis is that somebody who's already got millions and millions of your pounds...
Billions. Have you not
Billions,
seen
okay.
Yeah, his private estate is worth billions.
Oh, well, that's fine. Well, what you want to see is him getting lavish events then.
Yeah,
Have you
him
seen
getting ridden through the streets of London in a gold fucking carriage. Fuck off, melt it down. Let's fucking give it to
relate
someone
it back
who needs
to
it.
to relate it back
Mate,
to
you can't
news.
eat gold, mate.
I can try. I'm hungry.
I mean,
It's a
you
cost of
can.
living crisis.
As this
Give me
is
the plate.
a news podcast, I did read a part, and the analysis on it is it's going to cost
Anal
anywhere
cysts.
between
Anal cysts.
70 to 150 million. Now, to me and you,
I read it was 250.
Yeah,
It's
but this
going
is-
up all
but
the
this is what
time.
I mean.
This is inflation.
if
Since
you-
Benson read it, it's
They
doubled.
just make up the fucking
but
figures, mate.
if you've
Yeah.
got a gap with that
Fucking
much money in between 70 and 150 million, it's not like a couple of quid here and there.
It's just
It's double the fucking
This
amount
is it.
and more.
The people who quote the fucking like the royals and the government for things when they're like, "Well, we got a quote. It's going to be between 70
Yeah.
and 150 million." There's a lot of fucking room for error there. What are you expecting is going to happen? That's over double.
It's because the king sat there being a demanding bastard and being going, "Oh, we need a royal owl." And how much does a royal owl cost? 70 million. Oh, for fuck's sake, King Charles.
Some dude out back with a bad owl in his cart.
It's
just going,
royal,
"Yeah,
mate."
Fucking 70 million.
It's,
mate."
It's a royal owl.
It's a royal owl.
Look at it. It's got a crown.
It's really a royal owl.
Who made it royal? I didn't vote for it. Some moistened
Some boys have been for a fucking sword at it, right? That means it's royal.
So yeah, we talked about the king. There we go. So that's going to happen this Saturday for us, but it'll have happened a while ago. So
About a month ago. For
Yeah.
3 weeks ago for them, yeah.
by the
So,
time this comes out,
I hope it was great. I hope it was wonderful. And
we do get a bank holiday.
we
the day
that's the
We do get a
only
day off.
good-
which is
we-
also going to cost billions.
Oh yeah, that'll cost billions to the economy because the economy's in a good way.
I'm
It can take the hit.
Definitely
right?
not moaning about bank holiday though.
No,
No, I
Give me
can't-
more
can't
bank
do it.
holidays.
More bank holidays, more kings, more queens, more coronations.
No, because you get one when they die. So
Yeah,
if they just all die,
all die. Everyone dies.
but spaced out, not all in one go. Because then we just have like one event, won't we? And we just get one.
You have
bank
like a
holiday.
year off
What a
work.
waste.
We got to spread them out bit by bit.
There we go. We talked about real news. Should we talk about silly news?
Okay, a bit of a weird story. I mean,
That's
like,
what we want from the corners of the depths of the greasy, seedy internet.
Thank you. It's not about
Oh,
the king, is
dear.
it?
That's still off limits.
No, it's not about. I mean, he's as old as the king, though. This guy, by the looks of things.
I thought you said a
Tale as
kid.
old as
I thought,
time.
I thought you said it's not
No, he
about a
said the
kid, is it?
king.
The king.
I thought you said it's not about a kid, is
Why are
it?
you talking about kids?
'Cause I thought he said
Benson,
kid,
why are
You
you
know, he's obsessed.
Oh, you're just you're getting out of your corner that you put yourself in.
You've spent too long in my seedy corner, and it's rubbed. I've rubbed off on you.
You've rubbed onto him.
Yeah.
So today's story is about
Today's
story
Gather round.
from myself.
Children.
It's about a man called Joe Mellon.
Joe Mellon.
Joe Mellon. Yes,
Joe Mellon.
Joe
I don't know why I
Mellon.
tried to change that when Joe Mellon is perfectly
Joe
comical
Mellon.
on its own.
It's a pretty rock and roll name,
It
that.
is. It is.
Who's that over there? Joe Mellon.
What's that you're holding? Is that Joe Mellon?
Is that Joe Mellon? That's Joe Mellon.
That's my Mellon.
What about
No,
that
it's Joe
cheese?
Mellon.
That's nacho cheese. That's
Ah,
Joe
yeah.
Mellon. Food jokes.
Food jokes. Right, yeah, so Joe Mellon. Joe Mellon was a former member of the swinging 60s acid revolution. And whilst he was
Swinging.
Acid
in
swinging
the 60s.
in the 60s, he
Whilst
devised
aciding.
a plan to ensure that he could be indefinitely tripping forever. Through a process known as trepanation.
Shouldn't be Tripanation.
Well, no, it shouldn't.
Sounds too much like trepidation, which is not what you want.
That's the word I was thinking of.
Trepanation, it's called. Okay, now this is something that I've just found out about, and I'm gonna have to trigger warning everyone here. This is a nasty ass story.
All right.
You've been trigger warned.
Trigger
about the king?
warned. Let's not go to the king. So this guy, Mellon, he attempted this procedure not once, not twice, but 3 times
5, sir.
in his life before he managed it and hit the nail on the head.
He's actually succeeded, whatever he was
has
trying.
succeeded, and he has made himself constantly high, right? So he
Can we
he
guess?
heard of this. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So we heard of this concept back in 1965. It is called trepanation, and he was in Ibiza, living the life, swinging 60s and all that. Okay.
Was that a thing? Ibiza was swinging in the 60s. I don't know why. I think that Ibiza was discovered in the 90s.
They only found it in the 90s, yeah.
What is that in the distance? It looks like a party island.
There was just some people with a fucking boombox walking across a beach and like, we will found Ibiza. And that was it. It was made. No, this was in Ibiza in 1965 it was. Okay, so...
Bang in the middle of the swinging 60s.
Bang in the middle of the swinging 60s.
That was when it was at its swingingest, I believe.
He was the most swing
He was the most
he has ever
swung.
been.
Yeah.
Or the 60s were the most swing. So, yeah, let's get to this point. What do we think? This is a surgical procedure that he's done on himself to make himself constantly high.
He's tattooed himself with acid.
Surely that would run out.
That's genius.
That's genius.
Stop doing genius things.
A tattoo never runs out.
Yeah, no, but the acid's
Is
gonna...
it something to do with poo?
No.
Oh.
Why would it be poo? Please explain. Please explain. You
It's
think
what-
talking about
digest the
Jenkins?
acid.
I'm sure you said it was. I'm sure you said it was disgusting before. And I
He did
don't
it
know.
trigger warned us.
disgusting.
I imagine you could get high off some kind of dung somewhere. I just imagine that.
There
you
was
probably
like
could.
an internet hoax drug thing.
like licking a toad,
No, so...
chowing down on a cow
God,
shit.
this was when I was a lot younger.
Thank you. On it this week with the cow sound effects.
This was when I was a lot younger, and there was a hoax that was spread on the internet. Just as was what happened when we were younger. People
Still happens
liked
now.
it.
Hoaxes get spread on the internet.
But they're a bit easier found out now. But this was one where people made like this fake warning that they sent around some police stations and schools about this drug called Jenkum. Which what you did?
Leroy Jenkum.
Oh, if only. But what you did was you got fecal matter and like sewage and put it in a fucking bottle and put a balloon on the top so it filled with all the gases, and then you inhaled that gas.
Basically, like pure methane.
Pure, just fucking shit gas. Yeah,
Shit gas. Shit
gas.
Pure methane. That's
what they call
and they've sent it around a lot of police stations. They sent it around a lot of schools when we were younger. This was in the US, I think. And a couple of them kind of started putting out warning notices on it, which a couple of years later leads to some kids finding it online and starting doing it as if it was an actual fucking thing. Oh, idiots. And it was just a fucking hoax, and they're just inhaling shitty
Is that what the
methane.
South Park cat butthole thing was?
Yes,
Was
that's
based
exactly
off?
what it was
Yeah.
based off. Yeah,
makes
the whole Jenkum thing.
That
was
sense.
funny.
So no, it's not
Fucking
shit.
stupid.
Though.
But it's not shit, no.
No.
Does
But
it involve his penis?
it doesn't involve his penis.
Testicles?
No testicles. Why does it have to be penis and testicles to get
Because
high?
they're the disgusting parts of the body.
On this podcast,
mean-
our brains go to shit, penises, and testicles, and that's as far
Has
as
it-
we can go.
So I don't know how he's created an infinite supply of drugs into his
Okay,
system.
shall I go through
IV.
what
Yeah, just run it, break it
trepanation
down.
is? So
Yeah.
trepanation refers to a surgical procedure in which a circular piece of bone is drilled or scraped, then excised from the skull
Like a
to
lobotomy.
expose your brain to the outside world, to the air.
It's not meant to be exposed to the outside world.
He did it himself.
Oh my god!
After 3 attempts, I mean, that man's
Three
got holes.
attempts,
He's
right?
got holes in his head
Okay,
at this point.
And I was reading it because this is why I'm saying trigger warning, because this is, it's nasty, right? So he says, I'd heard about this guy who drilled a hole in his own head, and I thought, well, must be an
Can you imagine how fucking scary that is? Just don't go. Have you ever drilled into a wall and all of a sudden it just goes and just goes in and gets carried away?
But if you're tripping on acid, the fear is not a factor in this.
I don't think he'll have been tripping while he was doing it.
He wants to be high all the time.
He wants to be high all the time.
Not while
and
he's
this is the point.
doing the procedure to make him high all the time. You want to be pretty level-headed, straight-headed when you're doing that. When you're drilling into your own skull.
Well, that's
you don't want to be
shit-faced. But he has made a book. He's written a book about it called Borehole.
What do you want to do, mate? Right? You just want to bore an hole in your head and then you'll be high all the time. Sounds legit.
They hired him to help dig the Eurotunnel in 1993.
And then he was just like, after he'd finished it, he's like one of them soldiers who can never fucking go back to civilization. Like, I need to bore something. My own skull!
I heard he was sent into space to deal with an asteroid.
Don't want to close my eyes.
Michael Bay.
I want to know what happened to the first two for him to back out of the procedure. Like, how far did he get?
Yeah. Shall we go into detail then? Let's go. Please. There is a lot of detail in here.
You've had your trigger warning.
So the first line of his book.
I'm ready.
Just because this is a great, solid opening line for this book, Borehole. It says, this is the story of how I came...
All about how my brain got flip turned upside down.
This is the story of how I came to drill a hole in my head to get permanently high. That is literally why he's done it.
That is what we like, though, isn't it? No beating around the bush, straight to the point, no fucking around.
Is it a very short book? Chapter 1.
Yeah.
I drilled my...
and it just trails off.
Castle.
Okay, so he says, when he first heard about it, he thought it was ridiculous, obviously. But then eventually, 2 years after hearing about it in 1965, he'd had his first attempt. Okay, he says, at that time I was broke, and I certainly couldn't afford an electric drill. So I bought a hand trepan from a surgical instrument shop. Now, the instrument is a bit like a corkscrew, but with a ring of teeth at the bottom.
Oh.
See, Sam's going.
Also, the fact that in the 60s, surgical tool shops existed. I mean, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you could get a surgical instrument shop anymore.
Can you get one of these things on Amazon if I wanted to drill a hole in my head?
It's called a trepan, and I'm going to
say
this now.
Trepanation?
Do not do this. Yeah, maybe that's why it originally comes from.
Because you got to trepan yourself.
Yeah, but let's just say to anybody
if you want to be
listening
tripping,
to
got to
this,
use a trepan.
Don't fucking do this.
Yeah, PSA.
Do not do this at all. So he said it was difficult. It was like trying to uncork a bottle of wine from the inside
of your head.
Just screwing through the outside of your skull.
I imagine it makes a squeaky noise as well. Metal on bone, it's never a...
So the initial try was a failure.
If it gets very soft, you've gone too far.
Oh, God. Yeah, so the initial try was a failure, but that wasn't going to deter him from his
failure,
two more attempts.
How do you fail?
He doesn't cut a hole in his head.
All right, so he just ow, 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 didn't work.
Yeah.
It's a silly idea.
At some point, he's given in thinking, you know what, this isn't the right tool for the job.
Yeah.
Oh. So he talked about...
I'll get a nail and a hammer instead.
How would you drill a hole into your head, Sam?
And how would you drill a hole in your head? Get in touch with us on the comments and like and subscribe.
Oh, God. So he says, right, that in terms of his decision, the human being needs more blood in its brain. And apparently this somehow helps that. I don't know the level of
in your head
reasoning behind
blood.
this.
Is that because of all the fucking blood that's pissing out? Well,
no, because that's coming out of your head.
I bring the interesting facts. Here's one for you. Your brain itself doesn't have any nerves, so you can't feel your brain. Doesn't feel
your actual
pain.
skull and stuff. You can't feel. Oh, the brain itself
is.
You've got nerves on the outside of your skull, but as soon as you go through that and you get to the bone underneath, there's no pain.
Yeah, tell that to brain freeze, my friend.
Is that a person?
Tell it to brain freeze.
That's what happens when you eat ice cream.
You go eat a bowl full of ice cream in 30 seconds and then tell me your brain doesn't feel pain.
That does. That is when your brain feels pain.
So besides that specific circumstance where
pouring liquid nitrogen into the hole that you've just bored into your skull.
What else are you doing that could possibly cause you brain pain? Are you trepanizing your own head?
Brain pain. Benson gets brain pain all the time just when he tries to use it.
That's true.
When he sees a word like phenomenon.
But I was just sticking up for the idea. I
don't stick up for the idea. This is not a good idea. This is not a good idea at all.
It's a silly idea.
So after his initial failure, anyway,
let's try it again.
Mr. Mellon
Take two.
Mr. Melon cutting holes out of his melon. He tried it again. And this time...
He's literally twisting his melon,
his
man.
melon so hard.
Oh, good.
But this time he did remove some skull.
Ooh.
Hooray!
But
Ooh.
not enough to be satisfied, apparently.
Oh, that's a classic.
Was he like, I need to be a bit more high?
Yeah.
I need to
I
take a
suppose
bit
you get
more
used to
out.
it, don't you?
How's your day been? Well, I drilled a hole in my skull. Oh, congratulations.
You know what this is reminding me of?
Quite get enough of it out, though.
Have you seen... There's an episode of
Need to go
SpongeBob,
deeper.
a really early episode.
Here we go. We're going to SpongeBob. Sam's seen it.
And it's where
Sam's
where he dresses as the ghost, because he's a square, and then he's got a blanket over him, so it's like a curved thing, and then they pull the blanket off, and it's just a stalk with his brain and eyeballs, and he's shaved all the sponge off around it.
Shapes.
He shaves it off. This is the picture. This is the image I'm getting from this guy when he just like,
Nice.
stop. I need to get more high, more skull, more skull. Breaking it apart like a fucking Easter egg.
He did say that this time there
Don't get
was...
into Easter eggs again, Jesus.
Cadbury's Easter cream egg.
Cadbury's cream
I mean, maybe you should have practiced on an Easter egg first, just trying to bore a little hole out of it.
Yeah.
But he did say this time there was a kind of slurping sound as
Oh,
I took
no, that's not the sound.
treppen out.
That's not the sound
And
you
what
want.
sounded like bubbles.
No.
Wait, which part of his head is he removing this from?
His skull. He just says his skull. He doesn't say whereabouts on his skull, but this is his skull.
I imagine somewhere on the front. It'd be much harder to do it around the back.
You're going to have like 3 mirrors.
But if you were doing it around the front, people would see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But then if it's
But
around the
people can
back,
see it round the
what
back.
if the
People
hair
can see
gets
just
in
because
it?
you can't see
you,
round the
you
back.
can't see them looking at the back of your
You can
head.
put a head on, a hat on, a head on.
A head on, put a head on. Well, I took a hole out of my skull, and then to replace it, I put another
I
head.
got someone else's head and put that on.
I now have double the brain power, and I'm doubly high because I removed a part of the and now I've just got a human
I got bored
centipede
after a
of
while,
heads.
so I took a bit of theirs out. This guy's just insane. You know, he's gonna have a fucking his fucking head's gonna like Swiss cheese eventually. Surely he's gonna like.
He managed to write a
I
book,
need
though.
another one. I know. I mean, it can't be a good.
I mean,
book,
even
surely.
I can't write a book, and I have a full skull. I have a solid skull.
Oh, but
If there's one thing you can say about me is I've got a full skull.
Someone get me a doctorate.
So the third and final attempt
Attempt number 3, please.
came
Power
in
tools.
1970,
Pneumatic drill.
which only took
Well, and in
half
19
an hour all in all.
Well, he's done
He's
it a
a
few
pro,
times.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he knows what he's
And
doing.
plus, in
yeah.
1970, at this point, he has swung his 60s.
Yeah, the 60s are over. He's done the swing.
He's swung.
Yeah, fully swung. Swang.
Swung. Swung.
The 60s have been swang.
Drill the head.
It's so bad. So he says he did it in the evening, went to bed at 11
Best time
p.m. feeling good. Like, imagine, I've just cut a hole in my skull. I'm going to have a lie down.
It's the best
That's
time
what
to
I'd
do
be
it.
doing after I drilled a hole in my head.
I could still feel it when I woke up the next morning. No shit.
Yeah, it doesn't
And then
heal
I
like-
realised this is it. It's done.
Hooray!
He's
Congratulations.
really happy
You said
about
it
it.
was
And he's
horrible
written a
story.
book.
It's a great
This
story.
is a horrible
Did it
story.
succeed? Is he high all the time?
Yeah, apparently
It's
so.
this-
He has succeeded. But at what cost?
3 holes to the head.
Yeah, it sounds like he's winning, this guy. It's a story of triumphing and persisting
Right, go get electric
against
drills then. Come on.
adversity and making a hole in your head and being permanently high. I
It'd be-
believe Disney have bought the rights.
It'd be really easy for
They're going to make a movie with Johnny Depp next year.
for Halloween. He can go as JFK. It's a really easy costume.
Anyway, yeah. So that was my story. I read it earlier and was like, "What the fuck?"
Well, it was interesting and fucking gross and made us all go "Gah," quite a lot.
Bad,
I
innit?
didn't go good.
If you're listening, you know
What did you
exactly.
go?
You know
Oh,
exactly.
ah.
You know exactly what that means.
That's normally
I-
when it's penis related. That makes
Yeah,
you go.
but-
Oh, it made me go.
Does that not make you go thinking about someone getting a little corkscrew through their fucking skull?
Okay. Benson's getting ideas.
Corkscrew to the skull or corkscrew to the testicle.
Oh, now this is. We did. Would you rather this the other week?
I'd be taking it to the skull. any
Would you
day.
rather?
Getting to know.
Well, it's a good question though, isn't it? Corkscrew to the balls or to the
That's
skull?
not a good question.
It's a-
As
it's a-
far as questions go,
How
I'm
far
not
does it have to
categorising
go
that as
in?
good.
How far does it have to go in?
2 millimeters.
Skull, definitely.
Definitely skull.
Definitely skull. 100%
Absolutely.
skull.
Some people would pay for
Bear in
that.
mind,
In the
bear in mind the
balls.
skull. Bear
They
in mind.
fucking would though.
They would.
People pay from like cheese gratering and stuff.
Yeah, we've talked about these programs, haven't stamping with stilettos.
But bearing in mind the skull protects an organ, the testicles themselves are an organ that are not protected by anything besides a scrotum.
Yeah, but
testicles are the biggest design flaw in the
you
world.
yourself can live without the testicles, but probably not without the brain.
I can't. You're making you're making assumptions. I cannot live without testicles. I would rather.
In your mouth.
All right then, gentlemen. It's that time. It's my little section of the pod where I invite you in and give you something a little bit different. Except I don't know because I've run out of ideas. If you've got any ideas for Sammy's story segment, send them in to killerrabbitpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on the socials at killerrabbitpod. Please let us know because I'm struggling out here. And with that in mind, I would like you to cast your minds back, far, far back in time to when episode 1 was released, so a few weeks.
Okay, that's not far. I think I can remember that far. Yeah, maybe
Could have gone further. So back in episode 1, remember that? Such a long time ago.
I can't even remember.
No? Well, I brought to you some issues and problems that people were having that I'd found on the internet. And they hadn't written them to us, but I thought we should give them our 2 penneth anyway.
Oh,
I remember.
And we solved some problems for some random people,
We did.
including
We
Christopher the
solved-
Belly Button Monster.
the poker chip lady.
Yeah, Spunk on my chips. Yeah, we've heard all that before. So I put out the challenge and asked people to send us some stories, and I'm pleased to say we have had a couple.
No, we haven't.
We have. So you must
These
have
are
done
from our listeners.
actual people.
So we have to be careful what we say this time.
They've made the decision to get in touch and ask you these things.
I feel like we're offering a genuine service here.
Yeah, no, it feels like they should be paying us now.
Exactly. Yeah, £10,
Cool.
please. So
£10?
yeah, you are going to be our agony uncles, and I'm going to put some problems, situations to you.
I think we need to rediscuss our fee here if we're going to be the agony uncles, don't you, Benson?
I think we do.
Okay.
£10.
I want more than
I think
£10.
that's enough.
What do you want?
£11 or I quit.
I'll give you £7 and a drill to the testicle.
Oh, now we're talking. I'll stick with the £10, thanks.
If you've got any issues, any problems that you would like Agony Uncles here to help you out with, send them in to us at killerrabbitpodcast@gmail.com. These were actually sent to our Twitter account,
So they got it wrong.
which
Sounds
means
like fuck's sake.
which means that they could have been seen.
I don't read anything
I
on
don't
there.
read Twitter.
All right, okay, send them to Twitter.
I don't even know the
At
password.
Killer Rabbit Pod is only me that I thought we all had access, and I
I've got
deleted
access
them.
to it.
I deleted them immediately.
I go onto it when there's a notification and go away.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't read the messages.
Oh, that's fine then.
The messages are for you.
Oh, you can send them to Twitter then, because I read them.
Sam.
That's fair enough.
Sam is
So the
fair.
first one is anonymous, pussy. And it goes a little something like this. All right, fellas, lads, boyos, here's a problem for you. I have a co-worker. Ooh, get him.
We
Fancy
all-
schmancy with your job.
Multi-people businesses.
Rather than them solo businesses.
Sole traders, man.
Benson loves his solo business.
So let's call him Colin, particularly because that's close to his name, but it's not too close, but really it is.
Okay, Colin.
Okay, Colin.
Okay, Colin.
Col.
Fucking Colin. And he's an absolute nightmare. He tells everyone they are great all the time, that they are awesome, and boy, does he have his nose so far up the boss's hind end that I'm surprised he didn't have to get consent first. You can tell that this is an overseas listener by hind end, or is it just because I said hind end
Maybe
like
it's
that?
'cause you put
I mean,
the
if you had an
on it.
accent, it's going to make you... Yeah.
I don't, but I don't see anyone from the UK going, how did they spell it?
Hind end, something like that.
How did they spell it?
They spell it.
It just went more high-pitched.
That's how you spell things, just by
Hind.
saying the word.
Hind. HINDEND. So yeah, it is from an overseas listener, this one. And apparently, Colin, when he doesn't like something I do, this is the person who's writing it, passive-aggressive is his go-to reaction.
Okay.
Colin. And he has the social maturity of a Tsetse fly.
The
A
classic.
sexy fly.
The sexiest
Fucking
fly.
flies, man.
Buzz.
Sexy. Is it like a daddy long legs?
Silent T at the start. Who does that fly think it is?
Oh, silent T's.
Yeah.
No one needs a silent T.
Not at the start of a word.
That's fucking just pretentious, that is.
Yeah.
Fucking fly.
What about in the middle? Are you happy with silent T's in the middle?
No, there's a pronounced T in the middle. Of this one.
Tsetse.
I like that.
What
I
if
like
there
the,
wasn't? What if it was silent
like
there
the-
and the first one was not silent?
Like the common butterfly.
Then it'd be Tsetse, which I prefer.
I do. I like.
the Tsetse fly
The
sounds
Tsetse
nice,
fly,
doesn't it? The Tsetse fly.
Let's go with the Tsetse fly. I like it. Now, you can't give him advice, not the fly, Colin. Because
I mean, have you ever tried to give a fly advice, though?
I tried to give a Tsetse fly, he hated it. A Tsetse fly, though, would be very responsive to criticism, I find.
Some of them just really don't like it. They're just really difficult to give a fly advice, I've found.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
So you can't give the fly... No, you can't give Colin advice because he takes offence, and you can't suggest things to the boss because she loves... This is how it's written. It's written like a Tsetse fly said it. There's loads of S's at the end. Loves. Oh, she loves the butt kissing. Don't ask me why. Not my thing. But who am I to kink shame? What do I do? Capitalize. So, quick summary here. Guy works with a guy called Colin, but not really, but is, maybe, possibly. He's a nightmare. Goes around telling everyone they're great and generally appearing nice. I think that's the vibe that I'm getting. That he pretends to be nice.
False as fuck.
False
yeah.
as fuck, and has his nose up the boss's hand end.
So he's like being super nice to the face, but then he's kind of being a little bitch behind the back. Is that what we're kind of saying?
Yes.
Oh, and then he's doing the passive aggressive thing, so he can never be the one to seem aggressive at all, and never. Yeah. I
No
hate
social
people like that.
maturity. Can't give him advice. Takes offence. Can't suggest things to the boss because the boss loves him and his ass kissing.
I mean, what I would do is plant drugs in his desk and ring the police, and then he'll get arrested, and then he'll get fired as well, and problem solved.
Case closed. There you go, Anonymous.
Hey! No,
Colin up.
First
I
of
mean,
all,
the
don't-
things we know here are the boss likes ass kissing.
Bosses do tend to like ass kissing.
Yeah,
though.
so, I mean,
Not to be confused with actual ass kissing.
is
That's
your
a
boss...
different-
we all like that.
I mean, just kiss her ass.
Oh, it's a hard job though. That
No one likes to do that.
no one likes brown nosing.
It's fucking horrible.
Some people do like it. Obviously, like this Colin guy, but
You do have to have an element of work mode, don't
you've got to
you?
feed
Oh,
the
yeah,
ego.
absolutely. You've got to make your manager's life easier, right? Because then they kind of get off your back.
And then they'll probably make your life easier when you need it.
Yeah.
Unless
But if
they love
someone's
one
kissing,
specific person.
It's always difficult with an ass kisser because they have like hooks in,
Yeah.
and it's hard to fucking pull them away.
And they'll set you
Which
up
is
to
why you plant drugs in their desk and then you ring the police.
fail. Or use a caprese salad.
a caprese salad, yeah. That's
I've
always
seen
good.
What's
on
that
the
got in
office.
it? Tsetse fly.
Yes, it's
Fucking like
sprinkled with
spinach.
Sprinkled with the Tsetse
And,
fly. Really sets it off against
white
the
rhino
egg.
beetle. Throwback.
How else could you get rid of a fucking brown nosing coworker?
You could
I'm actually
leave
trying to think. You could leave. That's probably the
and
best
go to
option.
somewhere that actually respects
However,
your
What if it's
However,
like a
you're
great
just going to
job?
go somewhere else, and there's going to be another. Every workplace has these people.
At least one.
Or at least one.
This
A
guy's
lot of
probably doing
teams have
all right.
fucking multiple.
Yeah, this guy's doing all right. There's only one Colin. There's only one fucking Colin, and he's a
Sometimes,
sweat.
though, I mean, like from my experience, sometimes people just like a bit of honesty though as well, and they don't actually like the brown nose, but the brown nose person is the one who's just giving them attention, and it's just easier for them.
Yeah.
So you could just try to be honest as fuck and be like, dude, why is that fucking brown nose always hanging around?
don't-
You could start making jokes about it. That's always a good way. Proper belittle the behaviour.
Yeah.
And be like,
do you know what?
"Oh,
One thing
look
I
at
really hate
you."
is brown nosing.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just proper
say really
fucking-
loud in
yeah,
the presence.
and every time they do something, just make a comment. Your passive aggressive comments in return, and gradually whittle down their whole and give them a complex about brown nosing.
I think one bit of advice I would give to Anonymous is stop using unheard of flies when you're describing things,
Their
because
social maturity.
all my focus now was being on this fly with a silent T, and I don't even have any advice to give.
This is what the advice is
seriously?
really about.
What would you do, Benson?
Not, I would say like
WWBD.
You would do.
mosquito
You would no.
instead of. Oh wait, with the
really hung up on the fly.
the fly things
So
annoy
hung up
the fly
on the
things annoy me.
fly.
Like I'm getting passive aggressive now. In fact, I'm just getting aggressive.
Well, yeah. So what would you do?
I'm
I-
past
'cause
aggressive.
From my experience, I think you would just start taking piss out brown noser.
Yeah, but publicly.
Yeah,
I'd publicly shame them.
It's got to be publicly. It's got to be in like team meetings and stuff, just making little comments and fucking
I'll crush them.
crush
them like a sexy fly.
like a sexy fly on my fucking food.
Pound them down into a paste and spread it on toast.
So
Human on toast.
The fly, not
this is your advice, guys. You're either planting drugs or you're crushing your enemies.
into your sandwich filling,
I've had
and then the next day you can go to work with a nice packed lunch.
exactly. It's a win-win-win.
What happened to Colin? Oh, if only
Well,
you knew.
he was a brown noser, now he's going to be brown.
Though, and this anonymous, don't take this the wrong way, but sometimes this spouts from jealousy from yourself. That somebody else gets, you think it's brown nosing, but they're actually just doing a really good job.
This sounds like something a brown
You're
noser
a
would
brown
say.
nose,
Yeah.
right? It's
dear.
definitely what brown noses
Absolutely, I am. I'm not passive aggressive though. I'm just
say. You're
direct
just a
aggressive.
brown nose.
Yeah, just crush them into a
I
paste.
can see it now. I can see the brownness.
There's a bit of sweet corn.
We need some definitive advice though here, guys.
I've told you.
Poor anonymous.
I like Adam's idea.
Put drugs in
planting
the desk
drugs.
and call the police.
I suppose it would work.
Be careful. It is
It
America.
works.
It is America. Be careful.
Oh, yeah.
We've had the conversation about shoot first, woo later.
I don't know. I don't actually.
That was a thing, actually, wasn't it? Speaking of that.
What, shoot first, woo later?
Well, there was a place where we all worked. That's how we met, and there was like a video that we had to watch that gave us the rules of the roads, and it told us what to do in a terrorist situation. And it said, if you're in America, fight back. Everywhere else, run away.
I remember. Yeah, but I think that's general advice.
Why?
General
Why?
advice, yeah.
Why in
Insurance
America?
Because insurance companies are skeptical in America, so they're not insured. You know, like over here, if somebody robs your shop, give them the money out till it's insured. In America, it's like, no, we're going to actually fine you for losing the money.
I think it was maybe the assumption that you might have a gun or something. But yeah, I remember that. Specifically, it said, yeah, if you're in America, fight back. Everyone else, run away.
Run away.
The classic British trick.
Just run away.
Run back to the island.
There's tea somewhere.
Run back to the island. Close the doors. We are closed for today.
The tea's lost on the Tsetse fly.
Fucking sexy fly, man.
Sorry, I keep bringing up the sexy fly.
The sexy
You could have used
flies.
wasps. They're annoying. Mosquitoes. They're annoying. But the sexy fly.
It's sexy, if anything.
I mean, even David Attenborough's not talking about this fly because it's that.
I bet he
weird.
has done.
Nah.
But he has.
He's got
gone.
private.
yeah.
He's got private pictures of this fly.
Yeah,
Sexy
It's
fly.
so
He's got his own
sexy.
Tsetse fly farm in his house.
God,
So
sexy flies.
I think that's all we've got for this one, then, isn't it?
I don't
Pl-
think
plan
there's any
some-
more
There's
advice.
not much you can do because you can't go to the boss because the boss will side with the brown noser.
Nah, they might not all the time. But it's a risk. It's a risk.
But it's also a risk that if you come up with a really good idea, then you become the brown nose.
Oh, why don't you try and go against everything you stand for and try and out brown nose the brown noser and get above it just for a little social experiment? See if you can get above the pecking order.
Yeah,
so you're
and
higher
then
than
you
in
can
higher esteem.
brown nose the fucking.
And then you can start dropping hints
dropping
about
turds on him.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is,
You can fly above him like a great eagle, soar above Colin, shit on his head.
So what you're saying is
in the middle of work, everyone will laugh and he'll go home of embarrassment.
act like Colin. There's the
Act,
advice.
act like Colin times 2.
If you can't
Colin
beat
version 2.
if you can't beat Colin, become Colin.
Become better than Colin. Do
For
Colin
now,
better than Colin.
and then get rid of Colin, and then return to normal.
Exactly. Get to the point where you're in higher esteem with the brown nose. Become the brown nose.
And then you will defeat
And then-
the brown nosy.
Yeah, exactly. So get above Colin. Be a brownier, nosier bastard than Colin is. Get above him. Then start dropping hints about how much of a twat Colin is. Then Colin's right out of there. He's out of the.
I
he's
can't
out
I
of
feel
the
like
ballgame.
I can't
Sam
wait for
feels
Colin.
like I feel like Sam feels like he has a responsibility because this is a listener that sent something in. No, plant drugs in the desk and
drugs
call the
in the
police.
fucking
Agreed.
desk. I can't. Oh, is
Next
that
one.
it? Is it okay? Then? Okay, fine. That's
Go
fine.
on. Go on. Go
I
on. If
can't
you-
wait for Colin to get in touch to say that he's got a co-worker that's brown nosed, and we just end up in this cycle every 3 episodes of talking about Colin versus Anonymous.
And when this episode comes out, introduce Colin to this episode, and then he might listen. And
Oh yeah, job done. Maybe
Job
I'll-
done.
We've
maybe
done
I'll-
your job for you.
yeah, exactly. Colin, you're a cunt.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. So this one comes from Reese. This one's a belter. This.
Thanks,
And-
Reese.
Cheers, Reese.
This one isn't anonymous, so we can't anonymally give you
Yeah,
Anonymity.
terrible advice.
Yeah, no, this one
Anonymity.
you've got to give better advice because they've used their real name.
Absolutely, we respect that, Reese.
Do we have like a level of advice we give dependent upon the names that we're providing?
Yeah, how big their balls are.
Oh.
So, Reese says, guys, loving the pod. I have a situation which I think is right up your street, but also I genuinely don't know what to do about it.
Oh, poor Reese.
I'm in my first year at uni, staying in a halls of residence, which is like a bunch of flats for us layabout students. I'm loving the uni life so far, apart from one thing, or should I say one person. Let's call him Tom, because that's his name. He's got balls.
Yeah!
Go on, Reese.
Call him out.
Go on, Reese.
Right, why is Tom a dickhead?
So now Tom is in the next room to me and seems to be a perfectly nice guy, but I'm convinced that he is shaking hands with the milkman on an almost nightly basis, sometimes several times.
Choking the chicken.
You might think this is
masturbating.
you might think this is perfectly normal, and you know what? I agree. I'm all for burping the worm, but capitals, how do I know he's doing this? Well, he's not exactly discreet. Guys, I've never heard anything like it. Full on bed rattling, moaning and groaning, straining, and the most god-awful relief noise. I've never once seen him with a girl or a guy, I'm not one to judge. I've never seen anyone going into his room or coming out of it, and most damningly, the noises are of one person. So either he is sneaking someone in and doing a really bad job of things, or, as I suspect, this guy really loves battling the purple-headed yogurt slinger, and I mean really loves it.
Or he's got someone in a cage in his room that he keeps.
There's also necrophilia.
Yeah, or it could be like
Reese.
he might be in love with inanimate objects.
So first of all,
There's some more going. There's some more
No,
going.
but yeah, so this has kept me awake, even woken me up on multiple occasions. I even considered recording it and sending it to you guys, but that's illegal, right? Is that illegal?
Yeah, I think that's illegal.
yeah, we're not going to play that.
What do? I can barely look him in the eye, and it's
think
made
it's just
everything
sound.
totally
Don't
awkward.
look him in the eye.
Okay, right.
Should I call him out, ask anyone else if they've heard it? My room is the only one next to his, or just completely ignore it? Help.
Number one, if he's just recording the audio from his side, absolutely do that and send it us. We need to hear how loud this is. Right? That is. I think that's definitely number one that you need
Adam
to do.
needs to hear how loud it is.
We need to be able to play this on the podcast for posterity.
Posterity.
Prosperity.
I was like, which is the wrong one?
But is it illegal to record somebody's masturbation
No,
noises?
not their audio. Surely, if you were recording them, then yeah. But if you're recording
that's
in your,
that's what he meant.
no, but he means he's recording from his room. He's not going to be recording through his fucking window.
No, he means sat there recording on the phone so we can hear how loud it is.
Yeah, so he's recording his room. If someone's loud enough for the volume to come through, that's not illegal. They shouldn't be that loud.
I have 2 points
So
to make.
absolutely, it's not illegal.
2 practical points. First
Yeah.
of all, very good way with words, Reese. Using all them different analogies,
Euphemisms.
for
Choking the chicken,
masturbating,
spanking the
Bashing
monkey.
the bishop.
But also,
hand to gland
if
combat.
if you walk in on somebody else choking the chicken, never look them directly in the eye.
Depends
Because-
I think he meant looking in the
he said
eye
eye.
the next day.
He said eye. Right.
Not like
okay.
the one-eyed trousers.
Yeah, you would
mate.
say that. You would say, look him in the eye.
Not eyes.
No,
Look at him in the eyes.
yeah, look me in the eye.
I think it's perfectly natural.
Oh, well, wait,
We know
even
it's
Reese says
perfectly
that.
Yeah, I
Natural.
know. I'm agreeing with what he said.
Yeah.
It's the.
However, if it's keeping you up at night, then
I'm
I
waking
don't know.
I'm
you up.
waking you
I
up.
think-
Can you imagine
I
being
think-
woken up to that and then knowing? Would it be different if it was definitely a bit of sexy time and there's
Well, let me go
moans.
through my university stories.
Let's go.
Let's go. So in my second year of uni, I lived in a fucking 10-bedroom madhouse.
Mega house.
Absolute carnage.
Mega house.
Fucking mental. And in the room next to me was this dude lived there called Shuffles. Let's not go into that. And his missus lived downstairs. She was in the same house, Shana. And so they would randomly spend a night either in her room or in his room. If we were in his
Change
room,
of scenery, darling.
yeah, I know.
Why
So
not?
my
Going
room
on
was
holiday.
my room was right next to theirs, and theirs was kind of it was like a lofty bit, so it had a slant, whereas my room had a full wall with the window. Theirs had like a Velux thing because it had a slant, and they'd leave that open. The fucking volume coming out of there.
The fucking volume.
The fucking volume, yes.
fucking volume.
actual fucking volume. I would hear everything. It was loud as fuck. And in uni, I mean, especially in fucking halls, they're paper thin, man. They don't give a fuck if you're hearing stuff. It's fucking bad as uni. You hear it all the time anyway.
It's just
But
think
is
it's
it
just-
worse
but it-
when you know it's It's him doing
If
it
he's
to
making
himself.
weird noises as well, that's the bad part, isn't it?
I think that's it, but at the same time, you don't want to shame someone for being loud.
You know, the terminology of
But
crafty
the-
wank is out of the window with this guy.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what I
not
mean.
being subtle about it, is he?
I get the impression Reese
But
is
he
doing
might-
it, but nobody's hearing
But some
it.
people get
Well, that's it, you
some
don't
people
need
get
to.
aroused by that. It's
Noise
like
and-
exhibitionist.
and it's a because people might be hearing them, so maybe he
Yeah.
likes
But
that
what-
people could hear.
Whatever's happening, it's waking him up,
I mean,
keeping
there's-
him awake, and we
This
all
is-
get crabby with lack of sleep, right?
Absolutely. But this is university, and you can't be subtle about things. You literally need to slam on the wall and be like, all right, mate, I'm going too, and just make it weird as fuck. Or just
Yeah.
start doing it at the same time. And just fucking start going for it at the
That's
same
the
time.
advice.
But
That's
then-
the only way you're going to
but then,
solve it.
I get
Because then
the-
he will realise how loud he is from hearing you.
He says this guy he's the only one that's attached to him, so I guess it goes wanky guy, then Reese, and then
And
somebody
someone
else. So
else.
that somebody else will hear Reese doing it, and then maybe he's
chain
got-
reaction
But
of masturbation.
so I would just speak to that person and be like, "Dude, this guy fucking wanks loud as shit." you can't sugarcoat this, and you can't fucking hide it because it's just going to carry on. You need to fucking.
I would
face up
address
to
the
this.
situation.
I would address the situation. I would probably make the same noises at the same
You've
time.
turned this into a competition, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely.
you know
it's
another-
going to be the best.
A tactical way of doing it is you cut the Wi-Fi off when you start hearing the noises, and then.
and then the
porn freezes.
freezes.
Yeah, but what if he's using imagination wank?
It could be,
He could.
Might be.
Yeah.
but it might
You
throw
can't
him
turn that
off. It might
Wi-Fi
throw him
off.
off his rhythm.
Oh, if the Wi-Fi goes, is he using Wi-Fi powered wanking?
Wi-Fi powered hand or something.
That's why he's enjoying it so much. He's got a robot hand.
I don't know. I mean, I would address it. It's the only way you're gonna fucking get through it, or it's gonna carry on happening. And he might not know he's being that loud. He might just be in the moment, man.
He might have noise cancelling
He might
headphones.
just be
on.
loving it.
But then is he
he
gonna-
might have his AirPods in, yeah.
Yeah.
But then is he not going to enjoy his alone sexy time if he's constantly thinking, I can't be loud because Reese is listening to me?
Well, he lives.
But we're
Well, then he
advising
should live
Re-
in a detached house. He shouldn't live in.
We're
flats.
advising Reese here. We're not advising Tom.
I'm
Yeah.
being devil's advocate here. What if we get a message from Tom saying,
This guy
"The
wank
guy-
really
yeah,
loud.
this guy's put me off.
Well, our advice will be shut the fuck up whilst you're living in halls. If you want to be loud as fuck, go somewhere where you can be loud
Gone are
as
the
fuck.
days where teenagers learned to be crafty with this.
So that's the advice then. Either
that's
beat
what
him at his
my-
own game.
My advice would be to beat him at his own game.
Yeah. Or just tell him, just be like, dude, you wank really loud, stop it. It's keeping me awake
straight
at night.
up. Just be like, dude, you have a fun time last night, yeah? Yeah? Or record it and then start and make like a social media channel of the noises and get loads of followers, and then he'll see it one day and be really embarrassed.
He don't want to. He says he sounds like a nice guy, so he's.
You don't want to ruin his
doesn't-
whole
yeah.
sexual appetite for his life.
Yeah, I know, but I like.
So it seems like a nice guy. It's just this one thing, isn't it? It's just
It's a pretty
Loud
big
wanking.
thing, though.
is it? Have you
Yeah,
seen
how
it?
do
Have
you
seen
know?
it?
No, not penis.
Not penis.
Not the penis.
Yeah, I would try and beat him at his own game. I think
That is the funniest solution.
that is
for
the
sure.
funniest solution.
And
yeah.
then the person next to Reese tries to beat
And
him,
then- and
and
then
then
you
you've
could
just got
just
this
have a-
loud orgy house.
It
and
could
everyone's
That'll
going,
be a new story.
It would now be the evening chorus, wouldn't it? The wanky chorus of the evening.
like a Mexican wave for masturbation. One starts. "Oh!"
All the buildings rocking back and
a
If the
real,
building's rocking, don't come and knock you.
real
everyone's
cum-shender.
wanking. You could start a nice. It could be a nice community event.
There we go.
Yep, Reese set up a community wank. That is
Unity
the-
Wankathon. Do it for charity. So there we go. There's your advice, Anonymous and Reese. Hope that helps you out in your endeavours. And if you've got any kind of issues, problems that you want solving by our very own Agony Uncles, Adam and Benson, then please do get in touch with us anywhere on the socials at KillerRabbitPod or email us at killerrabbitpodcast@gmail.com. Sammy's section out.
Well, seeing as though it's towards the end of the episode, I think I best tell my story. I've done something a bit different this year, this episode. So we find the funniest news stories from around the world.
You found a really dull one.
It's not dull.
news
Oh, no,
stories
It's
ever
it's
read.
not dull. It's historical, though.
Historically funny.
Do you remember when we did that
Ye
podcast?
old cum story.
Your old hilarity.
Do you remember when we used to do that other podcast that never existed and we had to find
Nope,
one from
don't remember
that
it.
week?
No, I don't remember.
Well, this is all the way from 1917.
You really dug. You've gone to the local library and found cuttings.
Lady Archibald the
This
Third.
is literally what I've got. It's a scan of
That looks
the
like a
newspaper.
phone.
But this is a phone, obviously. But on here, I can't show you it yet because it's very relevant to our podcast.
Okay,
A
go
killer
then.
rabbit terrorizes zoo.
What?
How about that for a head title?
What kind of killer? Are we talking like?
A killer? What do you mean? What kind of rabbit? It's a killer rabbit.
I mean, is it a big killer
What
rabbit?
had large pointy teeth.
Was it white? Did it have red
A fish a
eyes?
streak a mile wide.
Now, the killer rabbit named Bunch
Named Bunch.
is called Bunch.
Bunch the rabbit.
Would be known to
It's a
attack.
cross between Bunny and Punch.
I'll fucking punch you, mate. And then he just jumps at you.
That's why it's a killer rabbit, yeah.
It had sharp, pointy teeth and other things.
Yep.
So Bunch would attack flocks of sheep, obviously a common occurrence at a zoo.
Flocks of
by
sheep.
ankles and throw people.
Worst zoo ever.
I was about to say, is this zoo a farm?
Well, this zoo is actually the Central Park Zoo.
Was it just a farm? Was it a petting
The
zoo
Central
back
Park
then?
Zoo, it's like one of the biggest, most famous zoos in the world.
It's in that big green bit of New York.
Yeah, Manhattan.
Where they think that stops them polluting the environment, don't they?
Yeah, the
So he actually,
fake field.
what happened was he terrorized sheep in a sheep meadow and then was moved to the zoo because the safest thing to do is something that
Okay.
attacks
Right,
animals.
this
Is
wasn't
move
in
it
the
to
zoo.
a smaller area with more
Now,
animals.
in the
it.
zoo, bear in mind rabbits, they're not that big.
Really?
It maimed dogs. Didn't name them. It maimed dogs and also fought an orangutan.
It's an orangutan. I bet there's no videos
Punched
of this
it in the
fucking
face.
mental rabbit. How
From
big
1917.
In 1917. There's
was
no
it?
pictures.
Like a normal sized rabbit? Or are we talking like a fucking Swedish big ass bunny?
A Swedish rabbit's big.
There's like certain types of rabbit that
Bugs
are
Bunny.
fucking big. Yeah, Bugs Bunny was big.
Well, it was exiled from the zoo.
He
and
was exiled.
It was actually put into solitary confinement in a small house at the back of the
Animal
zoo.
prison.
Journalism
small
wasn't
house,
that good.
an
at-
actual
a
house.
small house at the back of the
Not a hutch.
That's the zoo prison, isn't it? That's what that is. This is the
Do you want me to
prison
read?
for
I'll
the
read the.
naughty
I'll read the
animals.
full.
I don't want you to read the
sentence.
full sentence.
Okay, well then that's fine. I will. Bill Snyder.
That's the name of the rabbit.
Not
I know, it's
Rob
all Bunch.
Schneider.
Bill Snyder, great grandfather to Rob.
Rob Schneider.
Animal
Was
lover
he a
and head
stapler? Animal lover and head.
keeper.
Title.
Head title. God, it's so hard to read this. Look, it's an actual scan of the newspaper. It's fucking. Oh wait, I can zoom. in.
He's like, what are these words in print?
He gave a farewell party to Bunch before he was put in solitary confinement.
Oh, right, so you attack all the animals and you get a farewell party.
Is this Schrodinger's rabbit?
What
19
kind of example is that to set to the other
1917
animals?
it
Why
was-
are they giving him a farewell party and then putting him in solitary? Do they not have to feed him and stuff, or is this
Bye,
literally
Bunch, you're on your own now.
Schrodinger's rabbit? They're like, put him in the box with no windows and no food and nothing.
La la la
and
la
leave
la
him.
la. We can't see you.
1917 was a different time.
Could still be there.
Titanic hadn't happened at this point.
hadn't.
World War One was
Didn't
kind of
happen.
happening.
Titanic was 1912.
What was it? I thought it was 1918. Sorry. So Titanic has happened at this point. So they'd run out of
Caused
things.
by Bunch the rabbit. There was no iceberg. It was a large
He
rabbit.
bit a hole in the wall.
It was a bunch of rabbits.
So at the
What?
at the farewell party,
What did he do at his farewell party? He's
killed everyone.
He's had one last go
Killed
at it.
all the
You're gonna
bastards.
send me away? I'll fuck
it
you
might as
up.
well have done.
I warned you.
Now at this point,
I've done it again.
oh wait, I've lost the part already. So at the farewell party to Bunch in the afternoon, when his friends gathered,
His
for the-
friends. Why you got friends if he's killing
He's
everyone?
like the vicious rabbit with all these mates.
I suppose you
his
would be, mate.
gang.
It's like the bully at school,
Yeah.
isn't it? Everyone wants to be his mate.
Everyone be friends with him or he'll attack
yeah,
you.
he'll fuck you up.
yeah, this rabbit comes in.
Don't piss him off, man. Don't piss him off. Just be friends with
So
him. Be
this
nice.
This rabbit just wedging all the zoo workers and stealing the dinner
Fucking wet
money
willy in them.
with his little paws.
Wet pawing. It doesn't work as well, does it?
What did you step out my ears?
So the at the farewell party, the head keeper picked him up by his ears and said to the media,
No wonder he was
"This
pissed.
is the only fighting rabbit in existence,"
That we know of.
and that his banishment had been finally and reluctantly decided upon only after Bunch had nearly killed a champion and valuable gamecock.
The chicken of Bristol?
He almost killed
It was a vicious chicken of Bristol, but he beat the fuck out of it.
Bunch was the sir not appearing in this film.
I feel like this zoo had some sort of animal fighting ring going on after hours.
It was the mafia, wasn't it? It was definitely.
And they were like, right, well, he's beaten every other fucking animal in this zoo. We've just got to put him away, man.
Took on 7 lions.
Is this
on
rabbit
its
just
own.
still locked in this fucking box, just angry as shit, ready to take on the world?
pretty much just like a rattling box, and then they let it out, and it just starts. attacking.
Everyone's like, what's in that box? We've got no idea. It's just an angry fucking rabbit been in there for years.
And he just kept getting angrier. Put it in solitary confinement. It's there, like, scraping on the wall, the days that go past.
He's gone mental
Until his
now.
next kill. I mean, it goes on. I mean, it's a very, very long article.
I mean,
it's not that
obviously
long.
a bit of a slow news.
But I
Not
said,
that
at
long.
1917, not much was happening in New York, so my eyes pissing water out for some reason.
Are
But
you just crying over the rabbit? Is that
I
it?
feel sorry for Bunch. He was just misunderstood.
He just wanted to be a fighter, man.
He was a lovely rabbit, really.
But this is obviously what we named our entire podcast after.
Yeah,
So
this
it's
is
nice
the
that
Bunch-
we-
Bunch
after
the
Bunch.
rabbit.
So it's nice that we get to kind of talk about him every now and again. He was such a ferocious bully of small animals and fowls. Orangutans aren't small, though.
No, I wouldn't say an
that-
orangutan was that small.
The keeper concluded that a beast so dangerous should be confined where he
beast.
could do no more harm. It's written proper. Look at the bones! it's a proper mythological
They've
kind
taken
of...
him to a cave, haven't they, and left him there. That's what they've done. We've got to confine him to this island. So what happened to Bunch in the end after he was put in solitary? Did he ever get out of
this
solitary?
newspaper was written on the fact that he'd been moved into solitary. So
We never got an update on
and because
Bunch.
it's from 1917, newspaper articles are hard to find from then. This was on Reddit, and it was referenced as TIL at the start.
Today I learned.
Today I learned. So today you've learned that a killer rabbit did exist. It was housed in solitary confinement at
But there's
Central Park Zoo.
I feel like that's the one that escapes and now terrorizes us,
There's
right?
like ancient pictures and hieroglyphics of killer rabbits, though.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, is there?
famous throughout history.
Rabbits have always
So
been
do you reckon they're just
considered as killer.
waiting to take over?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're acting all cute and at it like rabbits.
Yeah, we
Building
talked
the
about-
Underneath us, there is super warrens of rabbits.
Super mega warren.
Where they're just growing like these combat rabbits ready to take over the world.
The rabbits created ChatGPT to divert everyone else's attention to think that's the real threat to humanity, or
When
China,
really-
or Putin, but really.
They're just burrowing underneath everyone's houses.
You think global warming's an issue? Look at the rabbits.
And with that, we come to another episode of Killer Rabbit Podcast. We thank you.
Come to another episode. Did we come to the
another-
end of another episode? Is
Oh,
that
did
what-
I not even say the end?
No, you just
You
said we come
said
to another episode. So
tired
is this
man.
episode 11 now?
Yep, we've gone.
Oh, okay. Cool.
We've gone right into the next episode.
That was quick.
That's what we're doing now. We're just joining all the episodes together. No, we've come to the end. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate you very, very much. If you want to get in touch with us, send us questions, give us some stories, give us some ideas for Sammy's story segment, or send us any problems you want us to sort out, anything like that, or anything at all.
Anything.
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 They
Absolutely.
can send us anything.
They could send us.
but
They could send us
poo.
an egg. You
But
can
poo.
send us some poo. No,
no, anything but poo.
Oh, right, okay,
that
yeah.
was the song. We
Yeah,
just made
sorry.
it.
Sorry. Yeah, get in touch with us on the socials at killerrabbitpod, or you can email us at killerrabbitpodcast@gmail.com. If you get time, go and give us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen, Podcast Addict, wherever you happen to be listening to us right now. If you can give us a review, please do, because it helps us, it boosts the algorithm, helps more people be able to find us. Review us.
Fucking reviewers, man.
Come on, do it now. But other than that, we'll say bye. Until next time, I've been Sam.
I've been Benson.
I've been Adam.
Bye for now. Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Love you. Bye.